Donald Trump recently delivered a marathon speech, clocking in at a record 108 minutes on what many are calling his version of the State of the Nation. However, a prominent political scientist argues that the lengthy address lacked any discernible impact, leaving Americans unfulfilled in their expectations. Catherine Kluwer Ashbrook, a distinguished German-American political scientist, characterizes Trump's speech as a defensive opening to his campaign, devoid of any visible effect. Instead of introducing fresh perspectives or new policy accents, Trump largely opted to defend his existing policies which, according to Professor Kluwer Ashbrook, a majority of Americans no longer endorse. She emphasized that the central expectations of many Americans were simply not met. Crucially, Professor Kluwer Ashbrook pointed out that in the current media landscape, it is not the duration of a speech that matters, but rather the core messages that circulate the following day in short clips and across social media platforms. It was precisely in this area, she noted, that Trump's speech fell short, lacking significant news value. This comes at a time when public trust in him has seen a noticeable shift. Compared to his congressional address from the previous year, Professor Kluwer Ashbrook states that twice as many Americans now disbelieve his promises, particularly concerning critical issues like the economy and migration, topics that have historically been cornerstones of Trump's political platform. She highlighted a stark disconnect between the economic success presented by the former president and the lived reality of many Americans. While the overall economy may appear robust and the stock market strong, Professor Kluwer Ashbrook observes that beneath this surface many sectors are struggling. She points to a weakening industry, persistent high long-term unemployment, and stubbornly high core inflation. She vividly explains that when Americans stand in the supermarket or turn up their heating in the coldest winter in years, they perceive a stark mismatch between the rhetoric and their everyday experiences. Professor Kluwer Ashbrook suggests that Trump should have learned a vital lesson from the presidency of his successor, Joe Biden, that election campaigns are often carried by emotions. This, she argues, is something Trump, of all people, should know best. From a rhetorical standpoint, the political scientist also identified significant shortcomings. Unlike previous presidents, such as Barack Obama, who directly addressed the population, Trump this time predominantly argued towards the Congress. He could have expressed empathy by saying, "We see your pain," Professor Kluwer Ashbrook posited. Instead, he painted a picture of an already dawning golden age, a portrayal that many voters find lacking in credibility. This approach, she concludes, is threatening to fracture the very coalition that initially propelled Trump into power. Trump had famously mobilized an unusual number of non-voters and minority groups, a historical achievement for the Republican Party. However, these same groups are now exhibiting increasing skepticism. Professor Kluwer Ashbrook warns that this historic coalition is beginning to crumble apart. Stay tuned for more updates on this developing story. This video was generated using artificial intelligence. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more updates. See you next time.